We're live, and as promised, I said I would do something at 6:15, and here we go. I need to do something real quick on my computer here to make sure I can see what's going on here. So I'm dropping down my computer, so don't mind me. I do it this way. I do it the old school way because if I try to set one up and do it live, it's just not going to work. So here we go. I figured I'd do one of these a week. That way people could see these, people can chime in and see what's going on. The latest, it's not going to let me do it. So anyway, we're going to talk about GTI. We're going to talk about Golf R. I sold two GTI or Golf R's in a week. Got two of them in, got a third one coming in. These are all spoken for. These are all sold. These are all waitlisted. And then we'll talk more about the rumors on 2025 models. Now that CES, Consumer Electronics Show, opened up in Vegas, we got a peek at the 2025 GTI. It was heavily cloaked, but we do have some news on the GTI. And now I'm just going to answer questions when you guys have them. I just got to get my screen up here. So I might have to move a little bit to do that here. Let's see here. There it is. All right. So if you guys can see, type something in there where you're watching from. I see I got 6 people on right now. So type in where you're at. If you got questions, type away. The biggest thing that I saw this week is 2025 GTI. They're tweaking the headlights. They're tweaking the tail lights a little bit. They're not changing horsepower or anything like that. But they're giving it a 12-inch screen. A 12-inch screen instead of the 10-inch screen that's kind of integrated into the dash, like my Golf R and any of the Mark 8s that are out there right now. We're up to 7. Wow. Okay. So the biggest thing that I saw there, excuse me. What's up, OJ? In Louisville. I said it right. I didn't say Louisville. I said Louisville. I used to live in Lexington, so I know that there's a big ongoing debate about how to say it, how to pronounce it correctly. We're up to 8. Woo! Okay, so the big thing about this screen, now 12 inches. Also, software is going to be updated. It's going to be less buggy. Let's see here. The other thing is that little sill down at the bottom is going to be backlit. So the temperature controls there and the temperature controls, the climate controls, I should say, and the volume control in the center will now have a backlight on them on the 2025 GTI if it comes just like the prototype at CES in Vegas was. So let's see here. Also, let's see. Heard 2025 Tiguan will debut at an auto show in February. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I'm not sure about that. Volkswagen's being very tight-lipped about that, but I am going to the Chicago Auto Show in February. That's the week of the 10th. So I'm going to go up there and see what I can see. Hopefully I can get my hands on that car. That'd be nice. I'm not going to get my hands on it like a normal video I do, but you know, I'll be like anybody else. Just I'll shoot a video of it if I can. It'll have a whole bunch of people getting in the way, whatever, and I won't be able to sit in the car for a long time. So I'll get what I get. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they'll bring an ID Buzz and maybe an ID7. Don't know. Don't know any of that. What's up, Fritz? Let's see here. San Diego. GTI looks like they got rid of the fog lights. No, don't know. Don't know. On the 2025, I'm guessing you're referring to. That little cloak design they have there, which was pretty badass, I might add, covered that up and kind of hid that. Let's see. Do I trade my 2022 Cross Sport R-Line Premium for 2024? Or do I wait for the new model to come out? Well, if you're going to wait till 2026, that's when they're going to redo everything. Excuse me. So 2022 R-Line, the premium, man, that interior is really sharp though. I say go for it. 4 cylinders, not the same 4-cylinder. What I'm realizing now is a lot of people out there in the world that are hating on that 4-cylinder are hating on it because they think it's the 4-cylinder that was in the 18 to the 2023 Atlas, and it's not the same one. It's totally different, and you're going to forget all about that V6, and it'll still pull the 5,000 pounds. Man, if financially you can make that move, make that move. Seriously, you're not going to regret going to the SEL Premium R-Line as a 2024. Not going to regret it one bit. Let's see here. So let's see here. Jerry, where are you at? Jerry Lambert, where are you at? So anyway, the other big thing about that GTI, man, okay, it sounds like it's the last ICE engine, internal combustion engine for GTI. After that, it goes electric in 26. It's not going to be the same. So what I predict, if you are on the fence about getting a GTI this year or next year, do it, because there ain't going to be any more. What's going to happen is people start coming out of the woodwork when they were like, this is the last model year for the manual transmission. I've got manual transmission one sitting on my lot, but when someone gets the news, it's too late. So we're going to get a rush of people at the end of this model year when we can't get any more manuals and no dealer's going to be trading for them, and they're going to be marking them up because they have a value. People are going to be stuck. They're going to be, man, I wish I'd known sooner. I wish I'd got a GTI. So anybody you know, any gearhead, any motorhead you know that needs a manual transmission, get them to a dealer now. Get them to a dealer now. I'm not marking mine up. I'm not selling them at a markup on the GTIs. We do mark up the Golf R just because it's such a hard car to get. So manual transmission on a GTI, tell everybody you know, send it down from the mountaintops. Man, get your ass to a dealer now and get you a manual, because they're not going to be around. Next year, they're all DSG, and then that'll be the last year for DSG. They'll go to an electric. It'll be the GTI electric, and then I don't know what the plan is for the Golf R. I heard that there was going to be an electric Golf R too. That just, I don't know. So gas engines, man, get them now. Get them now, because that reality is coming where they're shutting stuff down. Okay. Oh, you're in Milwaukee, don't you know? Hey, I'm a northerner too. I used to live in Detroit, and I can recognize an accent from anywhere. Let's see here. What else were we talking about? Oh, the other big thing about the 2025 GTI and 2025 Volkswagens going forward. Like this year, every 2024 got IQ Drive. Every single Volkswagen got it. There were still some that got through with deletes on them, so they don't have full IQ Drive, but they have like deleted blind spot and maybe rear cross traffic alert. But for the most part, 99% of every Volkswagen built in the US will now have IQ Drive. So 2025 GTI also gets Chat GPT software. They are going to use, so instead of you using the code word for Google or Siri, you can say hello Volkswagen or hi Volkswagen, or you can actually rename it and do whatever you want, but it's going to use Chat GPT to give you more accurate and intuitive responses to your questions. So you can ask it anything. Hey, where's a good barbecue restaurant near my location? Where is this? What is this divided by 6? I mean, you can do all of that stuff. That's going to be cool. Just here, where are you at? I don't remember where you're at. Hi. Let's see. ChatGPT, that's going to be interesting. That's definitely going to be interesting. Let's see. Golf R, next year will be all DSG. Like I said, there's no kind of horsepower bump or anything like that. And if you guys did not pay attention or did not see, there was a Golf R333. They built exactly 333 of these. They were Golf Rs in yellow with the blue R. I think they had black wheels. They sold for $83,000 a piece. And they had a special delivery service for them. Not a delivery service, but like where someone brought it to you. But they had a big event where they delivered those cars to people. They sold out in something like 3 hours. So crazy, crazy deal. The 380s. So we know more about the GTI 380s now, that manual 2024 GTI. Doesn't matter if you get the S, the SE, or I'm guessing the Autobahn. They're all going to come with those black R wheels, the Golf R wheels, the 19s. You're in Charlotte. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. We talked about all the bank buildings there. All the credit cards are there. Black the black Golf R wheels. Those are legit black Golf R wheels. It's not a mistake. They come on the GTI 380S, which if you're looking for a GTI, you haven't got into a GTI, you've never owned one, that is a hot ass car. I'm serious. That car, even the GTIS, I just did a video of one of those this week. It's up there on the video board there. Take a look at that thing. It has knobs, it has AM FM radio, it has a backup camera, it has power folding mirrors, it has a heated steering wheel, it has capacitive touch. It doesn't have premium audio, but it still has heated seats. And man, it still has the partial power on the seats. So all of the GTIs come with at least partial power on the seat back and then the manually adjusted seat. Super, super cool. Don't know what they're going to do as an EV with the GTI or the Golf R. Just don't know. 2025 is also going to give us that screen for the Tiguan, backlit sliders down below, 12-inch screen, and Chat GPT software. Everything's going to have it. ID7 is going to have it. ID Buzz is going to have it. Also, other news for 2025 and later. We have adopted the North American charging standard that Tesla uses for the EVs. So ID Buzz, don't know if the 2024, it's going to be a 2025. Don't know if it's going to initially come out with that or if that's going to have to come later. Same with ID4 in 2024. I don't think the 24 ID4 will have that charging standard. That probably won't be till 2025. And then ID7, don't know either. That takes time to roll all that stuff out. It takes a lot of time to get all that stuff implemented and mainstream. Jetta 2025, radio silence. Don't know anything about 2025 Jetta yet. Do know the 2025, the Tiguan, there's a rumor that it may be built in the one factory overseas. Don't know for sure. I can't confirm or deny anything. I hear those rumors a lot. We also heard that the Jetta was going to go away, but it has not. I'm assuming that there's going to be a 2025. Same with the GLI. Other news, the Golf turns 50 next year. So I would expect there to be a 50th anniversary something for the Golf, even in the U.S. Michael Steele, what are you referring to built in China? U.S. market won't get anything that's built in China. That's a guarantee. They'll build it in Mexico. They'll build it. Oh, you're referring to what I said about the Tiguan. No, that would be a European build if they do that. They won't build that. They won't bring anything built in China to the U.S. That's usually a joint venture. It's not built strictly by Volkswagen. So yeah, that will probably be built where they're building the short but wheelbase Tiguan currently if they do that. So then they'll have Golf, GTI, Golf R, and Tiguan coming from there, which kind of makes sense in the fact that they just axed the Arteon for the U.S. However, the Arteon still getting built as a 2024, as far as I know, for Europe. It just got canceled for the U.S. Let's see. Jetta GLI. I don't know about the manual transmission. I get asked that quite a bit about the manual transmission. Is it going away in the Jetta Sport and the Jetta S for 2025 as well? Don't know, but it's a safe bet that it probably will. If the manual gearbox is going away in the Golf GTI and the Golf R, it's probably going to go across the board. But there's radio silence again on that. Let's see. Passat, you'll see stuff about a new Passat. That's not coming to the U.S. That's an estate or a station wagon, and that's over in Europe. The T-Cross is getting a refresh again, because I scour all of these Volkswagen boards and all of that stuff and find stuff. All of this stuff is Europe. So if you're seeing anything about a T-Cross or a T-Roc or even the Amarok, that's all over in Europe. U.S. isn't cool enough to get that stuff. Just not. I wish we could get a Scirocco. I wish we could get a Tiguan R. That would be absolutely amazing. The Tiguan that we are getting for next year is also going to have a hybrid. So there's a hybrid engine. There's a diesel engine for that. Once again, not coming to the U.S. U.S. market will never see a diesel again. Not a brand new diesel. Let's see here. I have a 20 Jetta R-Line. What model will be equivalent? Your 20 Jetta R-Line, the only thing equivalent to it at this point in time is going to be a Jetta SE. The Jetta SE has the R-Line wheels that your 2020 has. And if you get the black wheel package, it's those same wheels painted a dark gray. The panoramic sunroof is a sunroof package on that car. So you're looking at about 27 grand. When you got your 2020 Jetta R-Line, depending on if you got a cold weather package or if you just got a 2020 Jetta R-Line, you paid somewhere between 23, or it's stickered for somewhere around 23,450 to about 24,500, or maybe in 24,750. What color is yours, by the way? I own one right now. We have a 2020 Jetta R-Line that my daughter actually bought off of us. We leased it, and then my daughter bought it at the end of the lease. It's a 2020 in white with the moonstone gray, or the storm gray and black two-tone seats. Let's see. I hope that answered your question. The difference now with the Jetta SE, though, it does come standard with a remote start, but it doesn't have a heated steering wheel, doesn't have heated rear seats or heated washer nozzles. So if you got a cold weather package on yours, you actually have a better setup. Silver, yeah, that's a good looking color. That was pyrite silver. So yeah, cold weather package made that car absolutely that's just a badass car. Now, is yours a stick shift or is it an automatic? Because they did make a stick shift R-Line. Let's see. While we're talking about Jetta 2024 lineup, you go Jetta S manual or automatic with a 1.5. You have a Jetta Sport manual or an automatic with a 1.5. Now Jetta SE, and you have to search for one with a sunroof if you want a sunroof. You have to search for one with a black wheel package if you want black wheels, unless you do it yourself after the fact. And then there's the Jetta SEL. So, yep, automatic. Yeah, love that car. My daughter loves hers too. We've named it Luke Skywalker because it looks like a stormtrooper. And then, well, John the Baptist, where are you? That's a cool name, by the way. Where are you located? Let's see. Next year, I would assume that Jetta's going to do the same model lineup. The difference is with 2024, Jetta Sport now has a spare tire in it and heated seats. Those are two things there that are different between Jetta Sport this year and 2023. And I haven't seen one with the Delete yet, I don't think. Let's see. Tiguan. Here's another alert for you. I've seen how Volkswagen, I've been with Volkswagen for 10 years. I got the little sign back there, the placard back there. I've been with them for 10 years. And in that 10 years, they get predictable about stuff. When they get ready to sell out of something and change a body style, they come up with a car that has, the way I call it, it essentially empties the parts bin. They did it in 2015 with the Passat Limited. The Passat Limited was a limited run car. Well, they ran that car to sell out of parts for the old body style of Passat. So the Passat Limited, if I remember correctly, did not have fog lights, but it had the halogen headlights, push button start, but it didn't have keyless entry. I don't think it had a sunroof, and that car leased ridiculously well for like $200. And it had the 1.8 in it. So the 2016 model year was when they came out with the best Passat ever. That was their slogan. When they did the body style change, and they went to a 2.0 shortly after that. Initially, you could get, or actually for a little bit, you could get, that's when the LED headlights came out and the LED tail lights with halogen fog lights, and you could get a V6 in an SE Tech or a V6 in a SEL Premium. That is a badass car. If speaking of that car, if you guys can find that car used and you're looking for a Passat, look for an SE Tech V6 or an SEL Premium V6. Great car, great pick up and go. Fast forward to 2019, they came out with 2018, they came out with the Passat GT. The Passat GT got rid of the V6 engines. Again, emptying the parts bin on the Passat. So they got rid of V6 engines after the Passat GT, which is another badass car. If you can find a Passat GT of 2018, get it. Badass car. Okay, moving on to 2019. That's when the SEL-R-Line or the R-Line got put on the Passat SE. That is also a badass car. But that is a 2.0 turbo in that engine. I believe that's a 2.0. It may be a 1.8, but I believe it went to a 2.0 in 2019. But that R-Line was pretty spectacular. It came loaded with If I remember correctly, it had Fender audio, sunroof, remote start, heated seats. It was pretty loaded up. So the 2019 Passat R-Line was badass, and they came standard with those headlights. And then in 2020 was another redesign. So that's when they went to the 2.0. Let's see here. My wife's 2016 Passat SE with technology radios going crazy like someone is controlling it remotely. It's nuts. Don't know if you know any history on these radios. Software glitches, bugaboos. That car is probably not going to have any kind of warranty on it, but radio replacement is usually a fix for that, just replacing that radio. Volkswagen since I want to say 2018 has had hit and miss radio issues with the cars because they change the software and the operating system and those fairly rapidly in that window of time. Makes sense because technology has been changing so much. Bluetooth technology is changing. Apple CarPlay came out in 2016 with Android Auto. So there was a whole lot of crap going on there. So I absolutely believe, yeah, you probably have a radio. And if I remember right, that 2016 Passat, probably, if it's an SE with tech, it had Apple CarPlay too. And you have to use a cord for that. That's probably part of the reason it does that, is the software code that's in it. Had a 14 and a 17 Passat, miss having that room. Yes, they do have ridiculous amounts of space. Car was an absolute sleeper. If you were 6'4", 6'5", even 6'6", as a driver in that car, you didn't steal room from the passenger sitting behind you. You could put your seat all the way back and recline it, and the person could still sit behind you. Passat was a great car, and I'm sad that they got rid of it. Absolutely sad that they got rid of it. Let's see here. Had a 12 Passat SEL, had a 2.5, and drove great, but always wished I had a V6 one. 2.5 was also a bulletproof engine. If you don't know, fun fact, that 2.5 was in Golf, Rabbit, Beetle, Jetta, and Passat. They all shared that same engine. That 5-cylinder 2.5 was bulletproof. You can hear that car coming down the road. Just like a Subaru has a unique sound, the 2.5 engine in a Volkswagen has a unique sound. And you can tell when it's a 2.5 just by listening to it. Crazy. Remote start installation available on a GTI automatic. No. God, no. They don't do any kind of remote start on any GT Golf products. And I hate it. But it is what it is. You're not going to be able to do a remote start on that car. While I'm talking about that, any of you guys that are on the fence about a 2024 Atlas, 2024, the Atlas changed on the SE. They changed a lot of things. And one of the things they changed, they went to that big, fat, huge fob. Atlas SE from 2018 up until 2023, you could add a factory remote start to that car. You do the extended range remote where you'd have 2 fobs for that car. You could use that remote start on that car. And I think you could go all the way back to 2018. You could do that on a Atlas SE. 2024 Atlas SE, we found out the hard way. We had a customer, and a salesperson told that customer that they could get a remote start on it. Found out the hard way. Cannot do it. No wiring harness exists. No kit exists. You cannot do it. So if you're looking at an Atlas SE, the base Atlas, and you want to add remote start, not possible. Just not doing it. Okay. Let's see here. I'm 6'6", and I could fit in the back seat in the Passat. Absolutely. I believe it 100%. And the fact that that car had a huge, monstrous trunk behind that seat. And you could fold the seats down. That car, Passat, was an absolute sleeper. Crushes Accord, crushes Camry. I don't understand why we didn't keep that car. That car was I honestly think that was a mistake to get rid of that car. Michael Steele, 6'3", and the Passat was great. Feel cramped now in my 22 Tiguan. Yep, as you should. The Tiguan is not, the Tiguan is close in space, but not as big. That second row seat in the Tiguan is pretty good, but it's just not the same. Michael Steele, what I would suggest for you, look at the Crossport. Seriously, look at the Crossport. Wider seat up front. You can move that seat back, and the leg room in the back seat behind you when you're sitting there driving, even with your seat back, it's not going to cramp your passenger style in the back. Absolutely will not. So do that. That reminds me of a thing I did want to go over here. A lot of you guys are probably shopping for cars, or maybe you're Volkswagen enthusiasts, or maybe you're just whatever, or the people who will watch this later, I want to give you some test drive tips on the cars. I'll start with the Taos, the first level of Taos. I think I've done that before, but man, when people come in, they pick a car. You're already on a car when you come in the door. You say, I want to test drive a Tiguan. I want to do this. But you don't think about other cars, or you don't necessarily research it heavily enough, or you just think, oh, I like how that one looks. I want to drive that one. Here's the thing with the Taos. If you're considering a 4Motion Taos, make sure you drive the front wheel drive one too. The reason I say that, 2 different transmissions in those cars. DSG on the all-wheel drive and a 7-speed automatic on the 8-speed automatic on the front wheel drive. The 4Motion DSG on that car, paired with that engine, it jumps, it lurches, it's a lurchy kind of thing. And not everybody's going to be a fan of that. And I'm being real with you when I say that. Not everybody's going to be a fan of that. But the all-wheel drive in that car, all-wheel drive in any Volkswagen is unmatched. It's just the same as the Audi Quattro. Just same thing. We're using the same technologies. Audi is our brand. We just call it 4Motion instead of Quattro. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of the same stuff. But make sure when you drive a Taos, you drive both the all-wheel drive and the front-wheel drive if you're considering all-wheel drive. The ride height's going to be the same, and if you know how to drive in the snow, especially my guy in Milwaukee, front-wheel drive is not, I'm not scared of it. You can drive a front-wheel drive car in the snow. You can. You absolutely can. It's not the end of the world. Also, in all of the Volkswagens, check out the turning radius. They will blow your mind. 2 cars where the turning radius may not blow your mind. GTI and Golf R. Golf R, that turning radius, not the greatest. Not sure why, but it's something to do with the suspension, the steering, the differentials, all that stuff. I'm guessing. But man, the turning radius and everything else, spectacular. Okay. 2025 updates. I did go over some stuff. I'll just go over that real quick for execution. Execution, where are you? Let me know where you're at. ChatGPT is coming to all of the cars. Bigger screen, 12-inch screen, touch screen. Not necessarily all the cars, but all the redesigned cars. So Tiguan's going to have that. Don't know what Taos is getting. Don't know what Jetta's getting. Atlas and Cross Sport, I will bet that the 2025 version of those will not get the updated infotainment. They'll keep the one they currently have until 2026 when the thing gets all redone. And then they'll roll that out. That's my hunch. Back to what I was saying. Taos, make sure you test drive both. Moving up to Tiguan. Tiguan, make sure you test drive turning radius. Turning radius again. Front wheel drive is going to give you 3 rows of seats. A lot of people walk in and say, I don't want 3 rows of seats, but I want front wheel drive. Sorry, can't help you. It's going to have 3 rows of seats. Second thing there. Tiguan front wheel drive has a power liftgate button on the driver's side door. Tiguan front wheel drive, you cannot close the hatch with that button. Front wheel drive units are the only ones that applies to. If you get an all-wheel drive Tiguan, you can open and close that hatch from the driver's door. That's a test drive tip too. Okay, so for that test drive, also try out that 3rd row seat. I mean, don't try it out yourself. You're going to hurt yourself, especially if one of you 6'6" guys. Don't do that. You're not getting out. But try the seat. The middle row seat there, it slides forward and back. There's a little strap on the side to pull that seat back where you can recline it. And that's also where you fold it flat. And in between those 2 seats is a button on it right next to the headrest. Push it. The middle armrest folds down. Now you've got a pass-through between you and the passenger sitting off to your right. And for like skis or something like that, if you don't have a ski rack or something on top. So you have that availability too. Also, test out the little pulls on the back hatch of the Tiguan. There's a lever on each side. You pull on it and everybody chickens out because they swear they're pulling too hard and they're going to break it. But you have to pull hard enough for that seat to go, phoop, it just folds down on either side. Try that out. My daughter just called me. I had to decline a call. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it. So, let's see here. She's going to call back. She's persistent. So, let's see. Tiguan, that's pretty much it for that. Oh, another tip on the Tiguan. If you guys are on the fence about your Tiguan, about that SEL-R-Line, I really got a strong feeling that this is going to be the last year for the SEL-R-Line Black Edition. Because the new body style and all that stuff, I don't see them coming out with a black edition right off the bat with that. They're going to come out with an R-Line, but probably not a black edition. So if you're on the SEL-R-Line Black Edition, don't wait for a 2025 because there probably won't be one. Get it now. And they just came out with red this year. Red looks stupid sick on that car. It looks really good. There is an option to get red with cinnamon. Whew. I would love to get my hands on one of those and see what that looks like. Red with cinnamon in an SEL-R-Line Black Edition is going to look just burnt toast. Man. Let's see. Moving up to ID4. ID4 test drive tips. Make sure you try out the massage seat. Oh, that's nice. It's on both sides. Also, make sure you turn on lane assist. Try that out. You should do that on all of the cars. Turn on the lane assist so you can see what it does. Lane assist in the cars. People who have lane assist in their cars, older cars, typically complain about the ping pong effect, where it kind of goes from one side to the other and back. That's because lane assist, when it first came out, was only designed to pull you off the line. If you hug the line, it pulls you away from it, and then you drift back, and it pull you back again. And if you go too far this way, it pulls you back. That's the ping pong effect. Now what you do is lane assist, and you hit the travel assist button below it on the steering wheel. Travel assist is going to give you lane centering to keep you centered in your lane, and it works in addition to lane assist up at the top of the steering wheel there. And then also they work in concert with adaptive cruise control. So it's going to do control your speed, control your lane centering, and you're not going to veer out of the lane. So that's nice as well. On the ID4 though, also that shifter, make sure you test out the reverse, the drive, all of that, the regenerative braking. Test it out. Even though you're probably not going to use it, turn it to the B mode, drive it. As soon as you let off the accelerator, that thing slows down. It'll slow down. I got it down to about 3 miles an hour. It didn't come to a complete stop, but I got it down to 3. Let's see. ID4, Taos, Tiguan. Move up to Jetta. Here's what I'd say on the Jetta. Test drive it. Definitely make sure you test drive it. If you're looking for a manual, you're probably not going to find one on a lot to test drive. Manuals are kind of hard to find. Just remember, push down and up for reverse, and then back. Or then you go backwards, I should say. Let's see. There's a group text going on. I don't know if you can get. So anyway, my daughter's trying to get a hold of me. So let's see. Jetta, the other thing is, again, the turning radius. If you try out a Jetta SEL, try out the ventilated seats, try out the heated seats, try out the audio for sure. Look at the trunk space. There's a lot of trunk space there. Huge amount of trunk space. The seats fold down. So I'm a firm believer of bringing props. So if you're test driving a car too, and you got a car seat, bring it. A lot of people say, oh, we got a babysitter for the kids. Whatever. No, bring them. They're props. Absolute props. See how this car fits in your life. Your crazy life. Your crazy, oh my God, get him. What's he doing life? Bring them. Golf clubs. Bring them in the bag. Bring the golf bag. Double stroller. Bring it. Especially for Atlas. That one's next. Atlas. When you test drive this thing, you have to test the turning radius. Find an empty parking lot. Just crank the steering wheel. It will blow your mind. It goes around one car and into the space next to it. The other thing about the Atlas, test out the lane assist. Test out the second row seats for sure. And then definitely try out the third row seats. Get in the third row. I don't care if you're 6'6" or 6'3". I'm talking to you two guys that have Passats. Climb in the back seat and pull that seat back. Now that seat does move forward and back. You can adjust it however you need to. Test out that seat. You're never going to sit back there as an owner. Never, ever going to sit back there as an owner. But test it out so you know what's going on in that seat. And between the seats in the back, the seats in the middle row, and the driver's seat, you make adjustments there, because the driver's probably going to have their seat scooted up further. So that means that back seat can come up further. Also, test out the touch controls for the sunroof. It's a deliberate touch at the front, the swipe back for the sunshade, touch at the front, swipe back for the sunroof. Test out that climate control. Test out the gesture control, all that good stuff. And here's the other thing. If you guys currently have an Atlas and you're looking to move to a new Atlas, you don't necessarily have to make a lateral move like you did in the past. If you have an SEL, you don't have to go to an SEL again, because the SE Tech now has enough stuff on it that your SEL had, that maybe that SE Tech works better for your budget. Same with moving down to an SE. If you have an SE Tech, you don't want to spend 48 grand for an SE Tech, but you can spend 42 or 43. Go down to the SE. You still get ventilated seats. You still get heated seats. You still get the backup camera. You don't have a tow hitch. You don't have park distance sensors, but you get that 12-inch screen still. So maybe that works. And it gets this diamond stitching on the leatherette seats. So it still looks fancy. It still looks bougie. Same with the CrossSport. When you go in and test drive a CrossSport, try out the second row seats. Oh my God, try out the second row seats. It will blow your mind how much space you have. It's like a king cab pickup truck or a quad cab pickup truck. It has so much leg room and so much space, and you can recline those seats. And I don't know, for whatever reason, we get dozens of people coming in asking us for captain's chairs in a CrossSport. We're baffled. You cannot get captain's chairs in the CrossSport. It only comes as a bench. And I don't know why people would want a 4-seater SUV. I don't think they're doing it in their head. They're figuring out that if you go to captain's chairs, that's a 4-seater. It just doesn't compute. Check out the back hatch. Check out the easy open hatch. The kick to open the hatch. Check all of that stuff out. Check everything out about this car. Check out the headlights on the front, the illuminated logo, the ambient lighting, all of that stuff. These cars are phenomenal. And the Atlas, I'm telling you guys now, it's going to get hot. We don't do the best job of advertising our new cars. Volkswagen doesn't advertise well on their new cars. They don't put it in your face everywhere. Yes, they put a lot of advertising out there. They put it in lots of places, but they don't stick with it long enough to beat people over the head. Atlas, 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 Atlas. The biggest seller of Atlases are you guys, people in the car pickup line, people at work, co-workers, telling someone, man, I got an Atlas and I absolutely love this thing. Or someone sees it and goes, what is that? What is that car you bought? That's an Atlas. A what? That's a Volkswagen? We get it all the time. All the time. And we'll probably continue to get that. Let's see. What am I missing on cars to test drive here? Did I go through? Oh, Jetta GLI. Jetta GLI. Okay. We all know, yeah, you're going to put your foot in it. You're going to jump on it, whatever. That car is a hard car to test drive because every dealer is suspicious that all you're doing is joyriding in it and you're going to burn up a clutch or you're burning rubber in the car. It's already happened to us. We had a 40th anniversary edition that someone called the dealership, said, yeah, you guys have a car out on a test drive? Well, they're burning it up. They passed me doing 90 in a 45. We can't control other people. I mean, if we're in the car, they're not going to do that, but sometimes we go with them. Sometimes we don't, just because we're busy. We can't go with everybody. But man, buy your GLI with less than 200 miles on it. Buy your GTI with less than 100 miles on it. Buy your Golf R with less than 20 miles on it. Okay? You know why I'm saying that. All of those people who know those cars cringe if that car has more than 20 miles on it, that Golf R, or that GTI, if it's got more than 100 miles on it, they cringe. They have visions of people just redlining the clutch or going past 6,000 RPMs, redlining it, burning it up, and the clutch has 200 miles of life left on it. That's not really the case, but that's what people envision in that car. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing a car. Atlas, GTI. So I'm going to go back up here. Let's see. Is Taos or Tiguan better overall vehicle? John the Baptist. I like the Tiguan better. To me, the Tiguan's classier, it's more refined, it's more elegant, and oh my God, the SEL-R-Line is just, it is such a classy, hot looking vehicle. The SEL-R-Line Tiguan. The SE-R-Line Tiguan is a extreme runner-up, an excellent runner-up. The two R-Line versions of the Tiguans are my favorite, by far and wide. My favorite. On the Taos is something that if you're a commuter, a heavy commuter, and you need gas mileage, the Taos is where it's at. The Taos SEL has a lot to offer there. If you need some creature comforts, you still don't get memory seats, but you get leather seats, you get heated and ventilated, and you get an LED light bar, and you get ambient lighting. The Taos to me is just, that's kind of a budget car, a budgeter's car. And yeah, I understand the SEL is not priced for a budget, but how do I put it? It gets great gas mileage, and that's what it's supposed to do. It compares to the Chevy Trax. It competes with the Chevy Trax, the Seltos, the Kia Seltos, the Tucson, and the Buick. Is it not the LaCrosse? The little tiny thing, Encore. I think that's what it's called. That little Buick, the little roller skate looking car. So it compares to those. Let's see. Execution updates in GTI for 2025. Yeah, I did go over that earlier. ChatGPT, 12-inch screen, backlit sliders, and it looks, someone mentioned earlier that it looks like the fog lights might be gone. Don't know for sure. It just debuted at CES, and I heard word that we're getting some type of update from Volkswagen coming up about the new GTI. She said new GTI, and my ears perked up because I don't know if she meant the new 2024s that we're currently already getting, or if there's a new 25 coming this winter. So I don't know the timing of that, but the fact that it was at CES in Vegas makes me think that they're about to blow out a whole bunch of 2024s to fill the pipelines, and then the 2025s get built. With that extra room for the Arteons they're not building for the U.S. market, they may have some extra capacity and build some 2025 GTIs. John, the Gaptis, I do not believe that the Tiguan is underpowered. Here's what happens. Here's what happens in an American market. We hear about a car, and all of the motor headboards, your Motor Trend, your Car Wows, Redline reviews, all of that, they all talk about motors and they talk about things being underpowered. That Tiguan will still do 90 miles an hour. It'll do 103. It'll do 117. The car drives great, and you'll get about 33 miles to the gallon if you drive the speed limit. There's nothing wrong with the engine in that car. It's 184 horsepower, and people say it's underpowered. The people who say that are putting it up against an SQ5, a Q5, a twin turbo, a V6. There's no comparison there. Volkswagen is here's what I tell people. Volkswagen is the largest manufacturer in the world. They sometimes beat Toyota, sometimes Toyota beats them. They have all of these brands. There's no way that they're going to put an underpowered engine in their top selling SUV. There's no way they're going to do that. There's no way at all. They're just not going to do that. So I think the Tiguan is powered just right. It does have a little bit of a lag in it when it's cold. But you know what? That's kind of the give and go of a turbo. But when that car's warmed up and going, no, it doesn't have any lag at all, and it gets around and does everything it needs. Same thing happens with the Taos. Same thing happens with any turbo. GTI, badass car. Golf R, badass car. Tiguan, awesome car. Atlas, badass car. Cross Sport, badass car. The ID4, awesome EV. We have an ID4 Pro S Plus on our lot. It's on our showroom floor. Oh my God, that is a gorgeous EV. Man, probably one of the best EVs on the market. It is Arctic Blue Ice, or is it just Arctic Blue? I think it's just Arctic Blue, that color. It's like a really light blue with a cosmic interior, which is gray, and dark blue leatherette. Man, that is a sexy car. It's up on the video here, the video list, if you want to look at that. Let's see. Atlas. Speaking of underpowered, Atlas is not underpowered. 269 horse with that new engine. It feels faster. It shifts faster. It drives faster. People who come in and drive that car, they buy it. They just buy it. Seriously. They're comparing it to a Kia Telluride, Hyundai Palisade, Subaru Ascent. Here's what I will tell you. Since the new interiors come out, Subaru Ascent buyers, gone. They're not crossing that car with Subaru's Ascent anymore. Kia Telluride, absolutely. Hyundai Palisade, absolutely. Why? Because they had us beat on interiors. They don't anymore. Our interior smokes everybody. You get a lot of stuff for your money. Any reason why it's hard to find a Taos SEL 4Motion at any South count? The all-wheel drive transmission, how do I put this? There at one point was a shortage of all-wheel drive components. So we saw a shortage of all-wheel drive Tiguan's. That was coming in 2024 out of 2023. At the excuse me, at the end of 2023, they finally ended what their shortage was there, and they started pumping out all-wheel drives to kind of get the mixes right. Excuse me. California is a market where there's, I would presume, I'm going to have to get a bottle of water. I would presume that in California, that is a market where there's not a heavy need for all-wheel drive unless you live up in the mountains, and not everybody lives up in the mountains. I have two SEL Taoses on my lot right now, one in pure gray with a black interior and a pyrite silver with French roast interior on my lot. We are not seeing that issue here. You're the second person that said something about SEL 4Motions not being available. Now, that being said, we did go almost 10 months without seeing a Taos SEL, a single one. So we had one ordered for a customer, and then we got two more, I think, after that, sold them, and they didn't get replenished. So I'm thinking that had something to do with the all-wheel drive component shortage at that point. All are S or SE. Yeah, because there's only the 3 trims of that car. I'm curious, are you seeing a lot of Taoses at all? Because we actually sold down to 3, and now we're up to, I want to say maybe 15. But we sold down to a point where we were close to selling out of Taoses. And in Madison, you said pre-COVID. Yeah, well, this was going on after COVID was kind of winding down. This was towards the end, but we were still having parts and supplier issues. This is when, what do you want to call it? Supply chain stuff. You kept hearing the word supply chain for everything, and it was just driving everybody batty. Because we couldn't get this, we couldn't get that. The builder couldn't, or the part supplier couldn't do this, or couldn't make this. They don't have the parts, they don't have the components. So we dealt with all that. So that's why there was a huge amount of front wheel drive Tiguan's on the market outside of Florida or the southern markets like Texas and Florida, where you see front wheel drive heavy. We were in the Midwest, we were stuck with front wheel drives too. That's why we had a bunch of 3-row Tiguan's, and not a lot of buyers are interested in 3-row and front wheel drive. So now my wife is calling me, so I'm probably going to end up wrapping this up here because they're trying to get a hold of me. I told them I was doing a live, but let's see here. Got my Cross Sport in November. I love it. My only issue, my driver's seat, not that comfortable. Have you heard anything from your buyers about the seats? What year is your Cross Sport Q Wade? Let's see here. I haven't heard that issue. Was not ready to buy. Now I am, but can't find any. I tell you what, Callie Tally, reach out to me. You can text me. I got my video. You got my phone number on all these videos. I'll tell you what, shoot me a text, 636-290-4257. I'll do a search for you and see if there's any out there in California for you. I'll tell you where the dealer is that has them. So send me the color that you're looking for, or colors, the range of colors, interior, whatever, and I will do a search for you. So you have a 2024 and your seats aren't comfortable. What trim level do you have, Q-Wade? Let's see. So does anybody else have any questions? Let's see here. So the Crossport, it's an SE Tech. Huh, I have not heard that because you got that new interior. Man, that's the first that I've heard that. Because most people love that interior, love those seats now, especially that they're heated and ventilated and they got that diamond stitch. Um, there might be, I mean, it's a shot, it's a long shot, but there might be something with your seat. What I'd suggest is maybe going to a dealer, trying a different one, and seeing if the seat's any different. Make sure it's an SE Tech though. Don't go to an SEL or an SEL Premium R-Line and say, yeah, these seats are definitely different, because they are different. But I would check that out and see what's going on there. Let's see. I want to wrap this up here because evidently they're trying to get a hold of me for food and stuff like that, figure out what we're doing for dinner, I guess. So I'll go back over what I said before. 2025 Golf GTI, and I'm going to presume Golf R is going to have it too. Big 12-inch screen, backlit sliders for volume control and temperatures on this screen. It's going to be a squared off screen. It's going to stick out separate from the dash. It's also going to have Chat GBT in it. So you're going to have that. Thinner headlights on the front. Oh, and a light up logo, front and rear. So they're now doing the illuminated logo. That's going forward. That's going to be on almost everything. So stuff when it gets refreshed and redone is going to have a light up logo. If it's electric, the logo's filled in. If it's gas, it's going to have a hollow illumination. So that's how you tell the difference between a gas car and an electric car going forward for Volkswagen. We're still on pace for ID Buzz to come out this year, 2024 as a 2025. It'll be a long wheelbase. There'll be 3 trims. There'll be the first edition, and then the Pro S rear-wheel drive and the Pro S all-wheel drive. So there's that. And then ID7, don't know how the trims are going to come on that, but that'll be a 2025 as well in 2024. So you're looking for that to come out second quarter, maybe third quarter, allegedly. And then the new 2025 Tiguan will come out third quarter, which is usually around October, November. So you'll see that. Hopefully, you'll see one at an auto show soon in the U.S. I'm going to the Chicago Auto Show, so I'm hoping to see one there in February. Don't know. I'm hoping to see something from Volkswagen in person in Chicago. Don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I'm kind of also nervous because Stellantis, the parent of Chrysler, that owns Jeep, Ram, Renault, whatever, all that. Not Renault, but Jeep, or there's something else they own too. Stellantis is pulling out of auto shows altogether. Let's see. I think that was kind of it. If anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. This has been great. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to leave me a message down below if you got any kind of questions or anything like that. I'm going to try to do these once a week. Thursday seems to work because it's my off day. And if I'm not working on this stuff behind me here, I can do one of these. So until next time, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.